in today's video, I'm going to kind of cover the places that I've enjoyed eating most when I was in Cabo San Lucas. So I've tried I tried a variety of restaurants, but I tried to narrow down the top 9 restaurants that I recommend for you to try. So starting from the cheapest to the more higher priced, and none of these are kind of like ludicrous price, I don't think. So the cheapest one would be at $2, and then moving up to, like, for example, $30 a plate. So let's start with the first one. So the first one is Hot Dogs El Poblano. This one is located near the main tourist or nightlife street, Lazaro Cadenas. It's right here, this red area right here. It's located on a street where there's other street vendors as well. There's an OXXO store. There's 2 OXXO stores right beside it. So you can, if you wanted to get a drink or something before visiting the street vendor, that's okay too. And I guess I like the street vendor is because they did have places to sit. In Tijuana, I found that most places you had to stand, and so whatever you ordered, you had to stand and eat near there. Versus for this place, there's places to sit. It's pretty popular among locals, and the price is between about first what they sell is hot dogs, hamburguesas, burritos, with fries, and the price is between I think about $3 to $5, $3 to $4. I don't think it would go up to $5. It was okay, maybe possibly. So the price range was $3 to $5 per plate, because I remember I ordered 2 plates for $6. So I remember I ordered a hot dog and super burrito for about $6. And one plate was enough to fill me up. I just ordered a second one because I wanted to try, I wanted to try their burrito. So Hot Dogs El Poblano is definitely worth a try and super budget friendly. If you're traveling on a budget, spending $3, spending $3 to $5 for dinner is a pretty good deal. Okay, so moving on to our second recommendation is, I don't know the name of the street vendor, but it's located right under this supermarket called Mercado Morelos. So both these places that I've mentioned so far, they open from 6 p.m. to, I think, midnight. So these are more kind of open towards dinner. So at Mercado Morelos, they sell the same kind of food there, which is hamburguesas, hot dogs, and burritos, right? So Mercado Morelos is it's actually located 2-3 minutes walk right across the street from Hot Dogs El Poblano. And it's similarly priced. It's between 3 to 5. You know what? Mercado Morelos is kind of slightly higher price, but not by much. So I would say the range is like $3 to $6. $3 to $6. No, per plate. No, sorry. Let me correct myself. Per plate, it would still be about $3 to $5 Canadian. Just can't remember why. It'll be like it'll be like 10 to 15 pesos more, I think, expensive than Hot Dogs El Poblano, but like 10 to 15 pesos is like nothing. It's like 50 cents, right? The only difference I found between Mercado Morelos and Hot Dogs El Poblano is that at Mercado Morelos, the fries are thicker. And at Mercado Morelos, I think you had the option of adding in your toppings. So at Mercado Morelos, the toppings I remember were pickles, mushrooms, salsa, tomatoes, and I think cheese. So so I guess the key difference is that Hot Dogs El Poblano, there's more seating area. Okay, so with our first recommendation, right, Hot Dogs El Poblano, there were seating areas, washrooms, slightly cheaper, skinny fries, right? At Mercado Morelos, there's thicker fries, less or no seating areas. It's very minimal seating, right? No washrooms. However, there's thicker fries here. You can add in toppings, and it's just minimally slightly more expensive, but still within the kind of $3 to $5 range. So both these recommendations are like, you're spending less than $6, and you'll be full, I think, in my opinion. The third recommendation is El Paisa. So this place will sell tacos and other, I guess, Mexican dishes. So El Paisa, the only con to El Paisa is that it's located right under a club. So it's super loud. It's kind of hard to talk to other people or a company. If you do invite, people, friends, either friends or a date to El Paisa, it's really hard to communicate because there's club music banging right above you. However, it is a very lively place, great prices. I think it's like 40 pesos. It's between 40 to 60 pesos per taco at El Paisa. And it's located right along the main nightlife street, Lazaro Cardenas. So super accessible, super convenient, super lively, very popular with the locals, los locales mexicanos. And then, what else can I say? El Paisa. It's a taco restaurant. I mean, if you're fair price, easily accessible. If you need a place to hit up if you're hungry, El Paisa. You can't go wrong, but it is a very loud location. It's just very noisy there. Okay, so moving on to the fourth one. This is not a restaurant. Well, Agua Salada itself is a restaurant, but located here is a coffee shop called the Baja Coffee Company. It's not on Google because I think it's a new store. But if you just Google Agua Salada, you walk here, you'll find a coffee shop kind of hidden to the side called the Baja Coffee Company. It's actually it's the entrance of Agua Salada. As you walk in, you'll see it right away. And I just wanted to mention this place because it had probably the best Mexican mocha coffee that I've tried in Cabo San Lucas. I highly recommend the mocha cafe here. Man, if you love chocolate and you love coffee, it's such a rich, strong, nice cold drink, especially with the hot weather in Cabo San Lucas. An iced mocha coffee here is just really good. Okay, so moving on to our fourth recommendation is the Crazy Lobster. I recommend here because if you're craving a steak and a lobster, this place has great prices. It's about $20 USD for a plate of for a lobster tail, a cut of a New York steak, New York cut or New York, what do you call it? New York strip of steak, and two sides for $20 USD. I was, no complaints. I mean, I was pretty happy with the plate for $20 USD. Really great price. Great, cooked well. Like, I had nothing to complain. They had complimentary tacos and toppings. So crazy. And if you don't like steak, you can get your lobster tail with, I think, a combination of other things. Like they had, shrimps. I can't remember from the top of my head, but I just went with the standard steak and lobster. So the Crazy Lobster is a great place to grab protein. What's my next recommendation here? So 2-3 minutes from the Crazy Lobster is an Asian restaurant. So if you're craving noodles, what number am I on? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. The sixth restaurant that I would recommend is Chubby Noodle Cabo, which is 2-3 minutes down the street from the Crazy Lobster. And Chubby Noodle Cabo, the dish that I would recommend is the udon. It's not, the noodles technically is not udon. I think the owner or whoever is running the restaurant is not too familiar with what Asian food or dishes are called. But anyway, I got the udon, right? That's labeled on their menu. So udon with beef and shrimp, I believe. I forgot what it's called, but it's like the first item on the menu. It was really good. It's kind of like a beef, kind of shrimp. The broth was kind of like a beef and mushroom flavored broth. I think there was mushrooms, but the noodle textures was great, chewy. And what else? Beef was well cooked. So that was my favorite dish at Chubby Noodle Cabo. I also tried the pho, but the pho wasn't really pho. It was like they gave you this glass noodle, which isn't pho, right? And I tried the Mongolian beef. So out of those three dishes, I would still recommend the udon with beef and I think shrimp. It's like the udon con res y camarón. I can't remember the name of it, but it's the one called udon. So if you're craving noodles and kind of like Asian type of cuisine, I recommend going to Chubby Noodle Cabo. Moving on to our 7th recommendation is the fish sushi. So here you can also, so if you're craving sushi, they also sell ramen and udon here. I would recommend visiting here. I remember the staff or the chef came out to say hi to me. So the staff is pretty friendly at the fish sushi. I should have taken a picture with them. I forgot, but anyway, very friendly staff here. I ordered the udon here at the fish sushi. It's fairly. Oh, sorry, I forgot to mention. So, I forgot to mention the prices for the other restaurants. So I mentioned, okay, so El Paisa, I already mentioned, 40 to 60 Mexican pesos per taco. So that works out to be about $3 to $4 Canadian per taco, I think. About $3 to $4, right? And then at Baja Coffee Company, that was about let me try to remember, about 65 pesos for a cup of coffee. So that's about $3 to $4 as well. We talked about Crazy Lobster. It was $20 USD for lobster and steak. At Chubby Noodle Cabo, I forgot to mention the prices for you guys. So it's between 200 to 250 Mexican pesos per dish. So that works out to be 200 Mexican pesos, about 12, depending on what you order, it'll be between 12 to 17, let's say 12 to $17 Canadian, right? In that range. Maybe higher than 12. I'd say you can expect to spend about 14. At Chubby Noodle Cabo, let's just say you're expected to spend about $14 Canadian to $18 Canadian, just to be safe. At the fish sushi, I remember the udon bowl was about 200 Mexican pesos. And so here you can also expect to spend, for ramen or udon, you'll be expected to spend like $12 to $16 Canadian, right? But however, they also sell sushi here as well. So depending on what you order, the rolls were fairly priced. I mean, it's between 100 to 200 Mexican pesos. So the fish sushi is still pretty affordable. It's not like it's highly priced or anything. But so for here, if you do order ramen or udon, I highly recommend asking for their satay. Their satay was actually really good, not too spicy, but very flavorful. The satay was actually really well made at the Fish Sushi, and it went great. It went great with my udon noodle soup. And then my 8th recommendation is Daikoku. This is probably the most beautiful restaurant that I've been to in Cabo San Lucas. The interior is just breathtaking. Like, there's a lot of kind of Zen and Japanese influence and design into this restaurant. So, I mean, 2 distinct design features that I remember is one of the tables. There was like a waterfall kind of integrated into that table. So at the end of the table, there would be like water pouring out, which I thought was really cool. Secondly, when you walk into the restaurant, on the ground, it's all glass. So you're walking over see-through glass, but under the glass is sand. So it's kind of like, I forgot what it's called in Japan, but like Japan, they have like, sometimes in offices, they have like this kind of drawing. They have like a small sand set where you can draw, or I don't know. So I don't know. I guess what I'm trying to say is it's a very beautiful restaurant, a great place to take a date. Right outside the restaurant is a garden. What else can I say? So even though the restaurant is so gorgeous, it's actually very fairly priced. It's I think the ramen was between 200, maybe even less than 200, maybe 170. It was between 170 to 250 Mexican pesos. So about 12 to $16 Canadian. Yeah, so not, it was not overpriced. Rolls were similarly between 150 to 250 Mexican pesos. 200 Mexican pesos is essentially $12 Canadian. So if we're talking about 250 would be 15, about $15 Canadian, around there, right? So Daikoku, really gorgeous restaurant. I guess the only thing that I have to say, or in terms of like critiquing the restaurant, is the service is very slow at this restaurant. I don't know, like whether it's trying to order the food or asking follow up on your dishes, but either to get like sauces or whatever, or even trying to pay the bill. Oh man, this restaurant took forever. The service is extremely slow. But service is really slow, but other than that, it's a gorgeous restaurant. I would definitely recommend just going just to see, just to enjoy the ambience, right? Sorry. And then at Daikoku, what did I order? I ordered the udon, right? Udon soup, a roll, and the food was pretty decent. It's I'm recommending just to go just for the atmosphere and the ambience. The food wasn't like kind of like mind blowing. Like it was still pretty decent, but you're mainly going to Daikoku just to check out the ambience and the atmosphere. Our last recommendation, our ninth restaurant, is Sun Japanese Iron Cuisine. So here is the most expensive out of all the places we've ventured so far. Sun Japanese Iron Cuisine is the most expensive. So what I remember is the ramen bowl was 450 Mexican pesos. So twice the price of all the other ramen bowls that we mentioned. And for the okonomiyaki, it was 650 Mexican pesos. So, I ordered those 2 dishes here, and I left the restaurant paying almost over $60 Canadian. So, I mean, that's pretty, I would say that's pretty expensive. Even for an average Westerner, this restaurant is super expensive. Well, super expensive in terms of, you know, the average Westerner, right? However, it is extremely high quality. It's probably the noodle texture and the noodles themselves were amazing. Broth was flavorful. Everything was cut and cooked well. Like the vegetables, the seaweed, or not seaweed, like the, what do you call it? The greens. The greens were, you know, just cut well. The meat was cooked well. There was like a slight crisp barbecue crust on the outside of, you know, whether you ordered, I think it was pork. Yeah, it was pork. It was pork, but it was cooked. Everything was cooked and made and cut really well, presented extremely well. Some Japanese. What else can I say? So Japanese iron cuisine, it's very high quality, very well made, very well presented, but very highly priced. Yeah. Okay, so that is the top 9 restaurants that I would recommend for Cabo San Lucas. If you guys have any restaurants that you would want to recommend, you can leave them in the comments below. If you found this video useful or helpful, you can give it a like. And if you want to stay tuned for future videos that you might find useful, consider subscribing. Yeah, thanks for watching, and I'll catch you guys in the next video. Bye. Ciao.